Welcome to the 2024 edition of the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance. We're kicking off the season in the ancestral home of Freeride, Verbier, Switzerland. So fired up to bring you FWT 2024.
How do I feel this season?
It's a little bit routine, but it's also some excitement for the new stuff's coming up.
It feels great to be back. Getting the nerves again.
We've all got some unfinished business from last season. They're looking forward to getting out there, got some ideas.
Anyone could do really good, it just depends if they feel inspired.
Sure, it's gonna be a super fun competition to watch this season, but I haven't said my last word.
So that is the Petit Bec, a northeast aspect. You see start 2 on the looker's left there in the little notch. That is a little more protected with lots of power in there. The start is just above 3,000 meters. See, it's pretty complex terrain, a lot of exposure.
So as soon as you drop in, you can see the features all the way down. Well, our first category today at the FWT Verbier Pro is going to be snowboard men. Flying into this section that we haven't really seen anybody take a bite out of yet. Stennerson going full Alpine style, pinned through that double.
Manages to hold that together at the bottom there. I think it was a pretty firm landing.
You know, takes it seriously, but still a lot of fun to be around. Getting the 360 into the exposure now. Michael Mann bringing the heat in the middle of his run.
He's got his family here cheering him on, looking super smooth and fluid through this exposure.
Yeah, he is charging in this area, right off the bulky part of that cliff. See the exposure below him, but no hesitation. 360 across that and right onto his edges. Jonathan Penfield now. You can see by the depth of the track, snow conditions absolutely fantastic. Ludo going double off that.
And rolling out really quick, but shutting it down quite easily. To double it off the next section over his slough, turning it into a triple.
And Ludo now on the throttle out the bottom. Tim, next rider in the gate. Timmy Schroeder.
In from start 2 there.
Not afraid of the speed, going over to this same rider's left side that we saw Hugo go to and going big off that already on relatively untapped zone with a 360 above exposure. Timmy Schroeder white rooming himself.
That was really impressive. He's lining up his lap. Big backflip down there. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. He's holding on his heel side edge. That was epic.
As we're gonna see the next man in the gate, Holden Samuels, another one out of Bozeman, Montana.
Heading over to find the next one. A big air through that closeout Fashna air.
Yeah, right from the absolute highest point you could get onto on that. Now taking this one off the toe side with the backside 3, bringing it around and straight onto that heel side edge. So Holden looking strong here, laying out the backflip. Perfect landing for Holden Samuels. Woo. Yeah! There we go. Victor De La Rue on the back.
Dropping in from start 1, which has, already in the air. Half a second into his run.
Yeah, so dropping in switch there with the half cap right away. Victor loves to get things going straight away and certainly doing that.
A big nose here, which he's gonna pull into a double or a triple.
Into a triple, fall line direct for Victor De La Rue. And he catches another one over there, jumping over that gully. That was a high-risk maneuver. As Victor De La Rue, blink and you missed it.
I think that was the quickest run we've seen so far today.
Absolutely.
Super fluid.
As the score coming in, a 93.33 for Victor De La Rue. Safe to say De La Rue is back and in charge right where he left off. Victor De La Rue with the win in the snowboard men at the FWT Verbier Pro. Snowboard women, the next riders to be taking on the Petit Bec, and they are ready to go. We've got a stacked field of athletes for the nose of this pyramid, directly off the tip of it, straight onto her board. That's where the snow goes. That's where the riders have to go, as Tiffany wanting to line up her turn shape to air out the bottom of that. A solid run coming straight off the end of that, bolts again.
So catching some air there, catching the grab and riding out really strong. She's still got more action below her.
Yeah, and backing herself on that upper air, because as you can see there, if that doesn't go right, you are in a world of hurt. And clean through that section too, as Estelle makes her way now through those goalpost rocks. There is a feature here. She's gonna slash instead. So Estelle Rosolio with a really, really strong statement here for women's snowboard. Straight into the guts of it, off the top, out of start one. Catching a quick feature directly out of the gate, and now just into this extremely technical section. With the camera view, you can see how much exposure, and riding above these rocks, kind of popping out the side of that, not afraid to get amongst it, as she's got something lined up on the toe side edge, skipping over the first one, off the second one.
There we see Nuria in the start gate.
And dropping in behind that big alpine wall. And Nuria coming out of the gate with charge, always a sender. So riding goofy, tricky to start on the heel side edge. And catching this one you've seen, so it'll be a little bit firmer and definitely running faster.
She's lining up the Fashionat closeout here, finding her takeoff.
But Nuria still moving fluidly down the face here, as she gets herself lined up above the tester's nose through this section. Still overexposure.
And take some airtime there, riding out with some pace. We've got smiles and tears on our Freeride World Tour podium, with Nuria in first place, Ana Martinez in second, and Estelle Rosolio in third position.
Ski women, the next category in the start gate. The first skiers we're going to take to the Petit Bec today, and here is who we're looking at. The first rider out of the gate from right here in Verbier, and she has a win on the Bec. You can see by the angles her skis make that it's so steep.
And she's got a bunch to work with down here. I think she wants the big one at the bottom, and she is taking it off the nose.
Oh!
Catching an edge on the landing. That said, we know she's going to lay it on the line with a huge air there.
Hedvig Vessel now into the lower part of the run. Off of this. Into this lower one, lining it up, spinning. Can she hold it? Oh! Addie Rafford going for the 360. Astrid Chelou, she is a Freeride Junior World Champion, and opting for something similar that we saw Molly do. Oh, perfect execution there from Astrid.
La Clusaz représente.
Direct herself over to the next feature, and Justine laying out a backflip. Is she going to be able to hold it? No! Oh, tossing a huge backflip there, and unfortunately just bouncing out of the landing. Wow, well, Justine is not here to mess around. That was enormous. Our next rider, we were talking about fast runs, Molly Armanino.
Finding her takeoff. Looks like she's making it into a double. That was amazing.
The airplane turn double, so technical there for Molly Armanino. I wasn't sure if she was going to slide down the channel, but no, airing into the closeout, and still more to come as Molly stacking up multiple features in the fall line. A banging run there for the American rider riding out of Tahoe. Manon now on course.
Dropping in here with some serious pace, lining up her first feature. solid landing. You can see her exceptional technique.
Yeah, really aggressive start here for Manon as she gets down into this rock band, moving her way into the exposure. To a serious situation here on the Bec and landing super clean there. Manon getting on that downhill ski as she fires into the lower section.
And it looks like she wants to take a chunk out of this big buttress here. Going huge and managing to hold that one together. That was a huge air from Manon.
And firing top to bottom, Manon Lowski.
Oh! But she is through the judging line. What an entrance.
We go back up to the top again. Scott Ryder here, a former Polish slopestyle champ. Zuza Witek not here to mess around. So Zuza Witek over some big exposure right now. Is she gonna bite off this big dog? She is, and stomping clean, controlling speed, flying off the next one. Zuzana Witek with a hot start to her run.
She is flying out there and lining up another huge air. 4-point landing, looking super strong coming out of there.
We're seeing Zuza now come into the same section. We saw Manon and clearing Manon's bomb hole, roasting off that air. A huge, huge launch from the Polish rider.
What a return to the tour.
Incredible run for the Scott rider there. As the judges having their say, a 97.67. That is an unbelievable score for the Polish rider. You can see it in her face. She is blown away. So happy and well-deserved for Zuza. We see now the overall rankings. Polish rider Zuza Witek holding it down in the top spot. And Manon, Molly, Hedvig, Astrid, and Sibyl. We are down to our final group of riders. That is the ski men. We'll be taking to the Petit Bec.
Coming into a big zone.
A huge 360 for Max Palm. He cannot hold on to it. Going for absolute glory there off one of the biggest features.
And taking off a big chunk of this serious exposure makes it, that was huge.
Stomping there, the first stage of the La Bamba.
So this is a pretty sniper landing, and you can't wash your speed against that really hard windlet. You just have to let it run.
360 over the rocks. Blake Marshall now stuck in the fall line as he flies off this bottom feature.
And he can't hold it. That was spicy. Putting style into every move he makes. This was so smooth. Perfect landing.
Martin taking a slightly different angle, nice clean landing into the transition and getting way up high on this feature. 360 perfectly over the rocks and into powder, and able to connect these two sections of the Bec that we haven't seen go together. Airing in, airing out. Martin Bender making a strong case for himself. Still plenty of action to go with a huge 360. Oh, Martin Bender getting the trajectory off and somehow comes out of it on his skis. And Maxime Chablot is on the Bec.
And making quick work of this techie section.
Yeah, getting himself into a serious piece of terrain, airing over the whole double bottom. So he's able to get up on top of this huge feature with a massive backflip. Oscar Mandin, the incredible control to be able to even get over there and then to lay out a huge backflip with a 360 now in this lower section, and it takes another one down. On the pyramid, now coming down into this lower section with the flat spin and another bolts landing. This is textbook. Another big one. Sliding the speed off so he can find the right angle of takeoff and connecting perfectly with a bunch of speed over everything. Oh, Abel Moga going for the biggest air of the day. The gap in his track from takeoff to landing enormous. as he took off the highest point above the big cliff. You have to clear a little bit of a dip. Now Carl coming into this low section, this bend, letting the slough clear as he takes it fall line, huge, and another perfect connection.
Spicy zone here, a lot of exposure. Takes some air, makes it a double, laces his way through. Incredible control there.
So technical there for Wei Tian. And Wei Tian now coming cross hill into this extremely exposed section. Rock ride, double, Wei Tian Ho, clean through there, going pure free ride. Trying to get on top of this big dog. 360 off the big air, bolt for Marcus, keeping it in the fall line, flying across with a flat spin. Keeps it barely holding on. Oh, Marcus Gogan just bringing the action. He's got a 3, a flat spin, and another 3, and he's only halfway down the Bec. Flying off with a giant laid out backflip. Can he hold? No!
Looking silky smooth because the snow is looking quite cut up. Taking a feature that no one has yet and linking together, clearing that rock and landing. That was absolutely huge.
With a bunch of speed and a 360 right off the bat and a trademark Turdell turn to control the speed. Turdell absolutely flying now as he comes into the exposure. There's no easy way out of here. Right off the heart of it, Christopher Turdell. There's not much below him that's not huge. Turdell lining up a big dog here, getting transition.
And sticking it.
He got a wild card back onto the tour, and he has proven once again why he is such a big threat on this face. An enormous run for Turdell. So fast through this section. Getting lined up over the wind lip, looking like just holding on, but holding on, and now he's got a meaty one with a 360. Finn clean on the landing, now he's got a ton of speed. As he comes down into the lower section of this face, is he gonna opt for this one? He does, going huge on the flatty and landing
it together. Getting cut up, but that is no problem for a seasoned skier like himself. Taking that one pretty deep.
As he comes into this section that's seen a little bit of action, going across, following that one track, and that landing nice and smooth for Hitzig.
Lining up another huge air here. Taking it deep.
And
4-point landing.
Perfect connection there for Hitzig, as we've come to expect. And he's still going to get this with a huge 360, and Max Hitzig stomps it. Untroubled by gravity or impact or physics or anything. The Freeride robot, we've been calling him, because he just exudes perfection. So now we wait for the scores. This one could be a trouble. Oh, it is a 93.67.
Max in first position, Finn in second, and Christopher Turdell in third.
Yeah, incredible riding there from those three. Tender Katsuno and Ben Richards debuting on the tour in fourth and fifth. Incredible action from them.